The story of O.J. Simpson and Nicole Brown Simpson begins in 1977 inside a chic Beverly Hills restaurant called the Daisy, where Nicole, barely 18 years old, worked as a waitress. She was described by coworkers as gentle, radiant, almost shy, yet with a natural presence that drew attention without her trying. O.J., on the other hand, was already a national figure, a former football superstar, a beloved public personality, and an actor rising in Hollywood. When he walked into the restaurant that night, everyone recognized him, but it was Nicole he noticed. Their connection was immediate, almost surreal, as if two completely different worlds had collided. Very quickly, Nicole became a constant presence in O.J.'s life, even though he was still married to Marguerite Whitley. Their relationship evolved at lightning speed, and Nicole suddenly found herself propelled into a world of fame, glamorous parties, luxurious villas, and celebrity circles she never imagined entering. She went from waitress to the partner of a national icon in a matter of months. But behind the glamorous photos and the polished smiles in magazines, the reality was far more complicated. Neighbors reported arguments, shouting, tension. Police were called to the couple's home multiple times. Nicole confided to friends that she sometimes felt overwhelmed, sometimes frightened, sometimes trapped in a relationship where love, passion, and control blended dangerously. Yet she stayed, hoping things would calm down, hoping the man she loved would change. In 1985, they married in a lavish ceremony. Two children were born, Sydney and Justin. Nicole became a mother, and her life took on a new dimension. She wanted to protect her children, give them stability, a happy childhood. But the tensions persisted. The couple separated, reconciled, separated again, in an emotionally exhausting cycle. In 1992, Nicole officially filed for divorce. She wanted to take back control of her life, breathe, rebuild. She moved into her own home with the children, tried to regain stability, went out with friends, and occasionally dated other men. O.J., despite the separation, remained present, sometimes too present, according to several accounts. Nicole wrote in a personal journal about her fears, frustrations, and anxieties, notes that would later become public, revealing a woman desperately trying to protect herself while staying strong for her children. The final months before the tragedy were marked by a strange atmosphere, a mix of distance and forced proximity. Nicole lived her life but felt watched, observed, sometimes followed. Neighbors reported tension, unexpected visits, heated conversations, yet nothing suggested what would happen on June 12, 1994. That evening, Nicole spent a warm, simple moment with her family at an Italian restaurant in Brentwood. She laughed, talked, seemed at peace. After dinner, she returned home to the usual calm of the neighborhood. Brentwood at night felt almost unreal. Quiet streets, soft yellow streetlights, perfectly aligned houses, immaculate gardens. You might hear a dog bark or a car pass, but nothing more. It was the kind of neighborhood where nothing dramatic ever seemed possible. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Los Angeles, O.J. was preparing for a trip. He had an early flight the next morning for a professional engagement in Chicago. Around 10 p.m., neighbors heard a dog barking, then another, then a third. At 11 p.m., an Akita, Nicole's dog, was found wandering the streets, leash still attached to its collar. The animal seemed panicked, as if trying to draw attention. Curious passers-by followed him. The dog pulled, whimpered, insisted. He led them directly to Nicole's home. They called the police. Officers arrived, observed the scene, sensed something was wrong. They entered the property, walked up the pathway, and discovered what would become the starting point of the most publicized criminal case of the 20th century. From that moment on, America held its breath. The investigation began immediately. Police examined the scene, collected physical evidence, questioned neighbors, reconstructed the movements of several individuals, analyzed timelines, phone calls, and traces left behind. Very quickly, O.J. became a person of interest. The media seized the story. News channels ran nonstop coverage. Journalists camped outside O.J.'s home, Nicole's home, and the police station. The case became a national phenomenon within hours. On June 17, 1994, OJJ was supposed to turn himself in. He didn't. Hours later, he was spotted in a white Ford Bronco, driven by his friend A.C. Cowlings. What followed became one of the most iconic moments in American television history, a slow, silent, almost surreal chase broadcast, live to 95 million viewers. Highways were shut down, helicopters filmed from above. People left their homes to watch the Bronco pass. Some held signs saying, "Go OJ." Others cried. Others simply stared at their screens. It was a suspended moment, a moment when the entire country seemed frozen. The trial began in January 1995. It lasted nearly a year and was dubbed the trial of the century. OJ's defense was handled by a team of high-profile attorneys known as the Dream Team, including Robert Shapiro, Johnny Cochran, Robert Kardashian, and F. Lee Bailey. The prosecution presented physical evidence, scientific analyses, and witness testimony. The defense attacked police credibility, highlighted procedural errors, raised questions about potential evidence mishandling, and made Detective Mark Furman a central figure in the controversy. The infamous glove became a defining moment. When O.J. tried it on and it appeared too small, Johnny Cochran delivered the now legendary line, "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." The trial quickly transcended the courtroom. It became a national debate about race, policing, celebrity, media, and the American justice system. Television networks broadcast every minute. Talk shows discussed it daily. Families were divided. Communities clashed. Experts argued. On October 3, 1995, the verdict was announced. O.J. Simpson was acquitted. The country erupted. Some celebrated. Others were stunned. The debate continues to this day. In 1997, a civil trial took place. The standards of proof were different. O.J. was found liable and ordered to pay significant damages. His life after the trial was marked by attempts to return to the media, a controversial book, financial struggles, and in 2007, a robbery case in Las Vegas that led to his imprisonment until 2017. His relationship with his children, Sydney and Justin, remained complex. They grew up in the shadow of a case that shattered their childhood. Some accounts suggest they maintained a connection with their father, but one marked by pain, confusion, and the weight of the past. They tried to live away from the spotlight, rebuild a normal life, and protect themselves from a name that had become too heavy. O.J. Simpson died in 2024 at the age of 76 from cancer. His death closed the chapter on one of the most controversial lives in American history. Until the end, he remained a divisive figure, a symbol of a fractured nation, a man whose life oscillated between glory, scandal, tragedy, and mystery. His story, Nicole's story, and the story of their children continues to fascinate, divide, and provoke questions more than 30 years later.